Hello and welcome back to Rage Game Videos and more Vessel of Hatred. Today we're talking about the fact that there's a new level cap in the game of 60, and while it's very nice that we have a whole extra 10 points to work with because of that, it's the new Paragon board system that I feel is much more impactful, especially in your late game, and ability to enter Torment 4 and function well there. These days we're capped to just 5 Paragon boards maximum, and we can reach up to level 300 in this board system, giving us way more points to work with. I'm sat here with 196 points spent, and as you can see I've reached all 4 of my Paragon boards, each has a glyph and legendary node active. But there's so much more for me to be able to get, like all of these rare and magic nodes that are going to have a big impact. They're going to allow me to mess with my gear, to have less resistances and armor in my gear, to allow for more DPS focused affixes, or maybe even open up new aspect slots. Not to mention enhance the power of some of these glyphs, like increasing the damage I deal to vulnerable targets. But first, to get those points, you need to grind. You need to reach, say, towards 200 points as soon as possible like I just showed, and after that, leveling will indeed slow down, until eventually you reach the cap of 300. What can you do to maximize your time to XP to reach level 200 plus sooner than later? Well, that's what this video guide is for. First up, before you do anything, you need to make sure the 4 XP increases are active. You're literally going to be gaining less XP before these are going. The first and most important thing you could possibly think about is your season blessings. On the left, you have the 4 levels of the Urn of Aggression. And as you can see, this is giving us 740% more XP from monster kills. And as it says, the bonus is now a multiplier. This is absolutely insane and the most important thing to get at 4 out of 4, the first thing you possibly do in the season. To get that, as you know, you'll need to get Smoldering Ashes from the Battle Pass by simply progressing it. The fastest way to progress this and get those Smoldering Ashes is through the Season Journey, which has you do specific tasks to get stuff, but also, as you can see, it gives you favor. Getting these big chunks of favor will actually boost your Battle Pass level and is one of the key ways to get the initial 4 levels, the 4 Smoldering Ashes, to then get the XP increases. So this is the most important thing you could possibly do. After that, we also have a new consumable, which you should know as opals. There's 5 types total, but the one I recommend to you for the purpose of just raw leveling, probably going to be the Opals of Torment here, because they make it more likely to get Infernal Compasses, which are going to be one of the prime resources that we use to level up effectively. Outside of that, just using any of these opals means for 30 minutes, you gain 15% increased XP, which is indeed nearly double what we're going to get from elixirs, which is of course the other thing you need to be aware of. There are 2 levels to elixirs now. Level 1 will provide you with 5% increased XP, where level 2 gives you 8%. So obviously you want the higher level 1. You will find them in the game, but you can still craft them at any alchemist. As you can see, level 1s are under basic and level 2 are under advanced. So make sure you always have one of these running as well. The last and least important one is incense, but if you can stack up your XP even more, why wouldn't you? Any incense that is active means 20 minutes of an extra 5% of XP. It's pretty expensive for an extra 5%, but if your goal is pure XP and you know you're about to grind for the next 20 minutes, I think it's worth it. Not to mention it makes you stronger or deal with certain issues you have. Like let's say you're lacking on armor, it's plus 200 in this case, which is a big deal. So yeah, if you're hard grinding XP for the purpose of leveling your Paragon, I think you want all 4 of those boxes essentially ticked. Otherwise you're leveling slower than you should. The other thing you need to consider then is the new difficulty system. In the endgame, you'll reach Torment level 1, and this goes from 1, 2, 3, and 4. For most players, I think your casual player is going to be fine in 1 and 2. Anyone with a proper build, again fine in 3, and then it's the highest level builds that function in Torment level 4. The thing is, at level 1, you're getting 300% more golden XP from those monster kills. It's an extra 100% per Torment level. So at 2 it's 400%, 3 it's 500%, and finally at 4 it's 600%. Obviously, we'd all like to be playing on this for the maximum efficiency, but you need to sort of reality check yourself. Weigh up the challenge versus your pace. Let's say you're able to clear Torment 2 level content really well, but you do feel much slower in Torment 3. Then it's probably not worth it to actually farm in Torment 3 right now for you. In my case right now, I'm actually here in Torment 4, completely able to function. I'm over the armor cap, I've got all my resistances, and I'm maximizing my build as best I can before my next goal of mythic uniques and so on. In my case, at this exact moment, killing certain elite types or fighting in tight areas that don't allow me to get the full benefit of the Dance of Knives movement, it slows me down. So I think it's better for me to play in Torment 3, where I'm going to instantly kill every enemy I see because it's way more efficient. You need to identify the highest difficulty you can crush content on, and then aim to push into higher tiers, if possible, as soon as you can, as another way to maximize your XP increases. Your 3 best options then for hard farming Paragon XP is Infernal Hordes, the Pits, and the new Undercity. Now, it's funny, in regards to the Undercity, we were told that it would be a great or best way to level up in the new season. In reality, you didn't really unlock it until basically you're at level 60 or close to. And it is a fantastic method of content for target farming specific gear. Like if you need skill levels on specific items, it's very helpful. But for the purpose of leveling, you're going to want to use a specific tribute, the Tribute of Growth. It basically just increases the actual XP bonus for completing the Undercity. So even here with the setup mostly about XP, what we're going to get is some basic drops and overall a pretty tame way to level compared to Pits and Infernal Hordes. So I think of the 3 best options that exist right now for farming XP, this is the worst one. But that's not to say the Undercity doesn't have clear value and purpose, it's just not the best for farming XP for your Paragon. We'll see if they change that with a hotfix or other balance patches, since I do think it should be worth more. Above that then, we have the Pits. The Pits are an incredibly valuable form of content. Not only are these going to be how you actually unlock higher levels of Torment, but obviously at the end, you now level up your glyphs here. Getting your glyphs to rank 15 is going to extend their radius, which is a big deal, but then getting them to legendary status gives them new passive benefits, sometimes raw damage multipliers. So that's a way to make yourself significantly stronger, therefore able to clear faster, therefore able to get XP faster. So that's an important thing to take away from that. Pits double up in value for many reasons. The problem with Pits is that, well, the mob packs are a lot more spread than we're going to see in other content as we're about to talk about. You'll have to deal with some awkward setups, some awkward elites, with affixes that are a pain, like the wall that just blocks you from dealing damage in some cases. And then at the end, you have a pit boss, which as you progress through the health bar is going to get steadily harder and harder with different mechanics. What we do, ideally, is the highest level pit you can while blasting. So we're talking about completing something like this in about 5 minutes or less. If it's taking you significantly longer than that, you're at a too high level pit for doing this. So let's say you have a build that's absolutely crushing. Well, fair enough, you're in a good place. This is going to be a great way to level. But if you're not absolutely crushing it, then it's not exactly the best time to XP. But it is still a good one, especially when you consider the fact that you're leveling glyphs, which will make you significantly faster. So I do think it's a top option, even though we're about to talk about Infernal Hordes and how that's overall the best time to XP for just XP grind purposes specifically. Infernal Hordes are incredible. As you can see, we have compasses. We used to be able to craft these and get these in different ways, but basically the primary way we're getting compasses consistently is by having the new Opals of Torment active. It makes enemies drop infernal compasses fairly regularly. So when I'm running these opals, I'm getting them. And when I'm not, they're a lot rarer. So make sure you're running this. When we're in the end game, you'll get compasses for wave caps of 6, 8, and even up to 10 now. So for the purpose of max XP farming, a 10 wave compass is what you're looking for. Here, as before, we've basically got the most dense mob packs to clear in the game anywhere you're going to find, which is hard to beat for the raw XP that's going to provide. Of course, what you can do is choose different boons that are going to give you more Aether, ultimately getting you better rewards at the end. But we don't care about that. What we care about specifically is XP, therefore we want mob density and efficient progress. So in our case for XP, we will ignore the offerings that provide us with anything that's going to slow us down. The absolute best thing you could hope for is more elites for more Aether from elites, and in particular, Hellborn. Because if you get the boon that means you get invigorated when you kill a Hellborn, you're going to kill mobs significantly faster while you're in the Hordes. That is the best way to level up. Kill Hellborn, get invigorated, kill way more mobs fast. At the end of this, of course, you'll still want to have tried to get as much Aether as you can, because you're going to have the greater chest with great uniques and even greater affix potential. And then you have a choice to get a load of materials for maybe masterworking or other purposes, or of course, massive piles of gold every time. So Infernal Hordes offers you the most dense mob clear in the game, with insane clear potential if you can get Hellborn invigorated, and you still get great loot at the end. So if you're looking to farm Paragon as effectively just raw Paragon level, Infernal Hordes is going to be the one to go for. However, I expect in this early section of the season right now, most of us still don't have legendary glyphs at least, let alone level 100 glyphs. So I think it's incredibly valuable to do pits to get to legendary glyph levels at least, before you necessarily grind Infernal Hordes specifically. It's up to you, but I would say pits and hordes are the way to go. If this guide has helped you, then please do drop a like. If you have anything more to add, like advice to make things better, let us know in the comments. But for now, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.